this is not a video game topic directly, nor is it movies.
It actually does kind of play into games. Well, collecting.
A little bit. But it was a dream scenario where 7 rare Ty Cobb baseball cards, all the same type, were discovered. These came out between 1909 and 1911. Ty Cobb, one of the first members of the Hall of Fame, I believe. He was one of the best hitters ever, and he played, obviously, over 100 years ago. He's second in hits to Pete Rose. Over 4,000 hits. Kind of notorious. Played for like 25 years or so. Played for a long time. So there was only 15 of this particular card. It came out between 1909 and 1911. They packed these in with tobacco packs. So you get a card in it. That'd be just cool. It's like before bubblegum, I guess, packed in. That's where it came with bubblegum cards.
Right.
Tobacco cards. Who would have thunk? Tobacco can kill you. Well, it could. So there are only 15 of these known to exist before this point.
Right.
So what happened was, there was, I guess they were clearing out their great-grandparents' place. They see a brown paper bag. They're ready to throw it out, but they say, let's see what's inside. And they find 7 of these cards somehow there. And they didn't know anything about it. Like, what is this?
Well, they assume that, basically their grandfather used a lot of tobacco to roll his own cigarettes. And I believe they said pipes as well, though you wouldn't use that type of tobacco for a pipe. Anyways, so it stands to reason that he accumulated a number of these just by buying the same type of tobacco over and over again, and just left them in a stack.
But 7 of this particular one. That to me is intriguing, because it's not like you can't find tobacco baseball cards. They're out there.
Sure.
There's actually a decent amount out there. I mean, they're not worth a ton of like the common ones aren't worth like a ton of money.
Sure. I'm just saying. I mean, maybe it was a special promotion for that period of time. But anyways, maybe he bought a bunch of packs at the same time and ended up with those cards. Either way, they speculate that it was because he just bought a lot of tobacco and probably held on to them. How they got shuffled around so many times that they ended up in a brown paper bag is beyond me. Before someone realized, hey,
and weren't destroyed.
These might be worth something. But what's interesting to me is in this article, one of the first things one of the guys says when they're talking about the worth is that now with these in the market, so many more in the market. It's funny that 7 is so many more in the market, but 15, it is when there's only 15.
It increases by 50%.
You're still talking 7 figures.
Sure.
But this is kind of what we've always talked about with the rarity of video games, is that if there's these people who are holding 10 copies of Stadium events, if even 50 more are found somewhere.
50? 8? 9?
Well, I'm just saying, I'm thinking of a box.
Because you have a very limited number of people spend that much money.
Right.
Especially, at least with video games. With sports cards, like that Honus Wagner, like Gretzky, I think, owns one. I think Tom McFarlane owns one. So you have people willing to shell out the cash for that. Is McFarlane going to buy a rare video game? Probably not, because it doesn't have the same cultural significance as a baseball card or a comic book.
I'm just saying, introducing anything that's worth... Whether it's, I know that video games are different, but when you introduce anything that's worth money, you're going to bring down the price.
Well, this is what I wanted to talk about this for 2 reasons. One, yes, there's always the risk of this happening with video games. This is case in point. This is far rarer than a stadium events.
Yeah.
Far rarer, and 7 were found in one place. And it's 100 years old. That's insane.
Yep.
The odds of that happening are insane, and there could be more out there. There probably are. Whenever people talk about, what was it, the Mile High Collection comics, when one place they had stored the comics forever and their own golden age comics in pristine condition. This stuff happens.
Right.
People keep shit, they hoard it, and then it becomes rare. And 60, 70 years later, after the person's dead, someone finds it. It happens. It could have happened in video games. Yes, and especially with collectors start dying off the next 20 years. You'll have like the special collections of maybe collectors that people don't even know about. People compile stuff on eBay over 20, 30 years. They die in their 60s. All of a sudden, you got 2 stadium events on the market. Right. I know an older collector I see sometimes at the swap meet. I know he has a stadium events. He told me. I know his other stuff. He's not a young guy. What happens in 20 years with his collection? Someone's going to get it.
People clean out his house and find it.
Exactly.
And it reintroduces one.
But what if it's not found for 50 years? It's interesting. That's interesting to me, is that because yes, it's going to hurt the value. And I'm sure those 15 people, depends if they care about the whole thing about investing versus being a collector.
It's still a goddamn 7-figure card.
They were in pretty good condition. They showed the picture of all 7
I
graded.
saw they were.
The other interesting thing was the people they brought it to were I think they brought it originally locally somewhere. They were totally honest about what it was. They didn't try to steal it from them.
Nice.
Which makes me say yes, there are good people out there. I was listening to Bomani Jones. He's on ESPN. He's actually really funny. And he said, yeah, if that was me, they'd come in. Yeah, they're not the right ones. They're kind of, I'll give you like $500 from them for your trouble. They're not worth anything. No, but they were honest, and they sent it to PSA, who authenticate and grade them. And this is something you want to authenticate and grade.
This makes sense.
A baseball card that's all you do with it is look at it and you protect it, and it's 100 years old and it gets damaged just sitting out in air.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they're gonna make a ton of money, and good for them. Good for them. So, anything else to add to this story?
No, I just think it's incredibly cool. That's really all I have.
Someone's gonna find Nintendo's. They're gonna find 50 golden WCs packed away. They never released them. They were ready to go.